Welcome to our summer finale of the R2 webinar series. Today I'm going to talk about some of our suite of mobile apps and some of the new enhancements that we've brought into the picture. Anytime during the webinar, any questions that you have, please submit them to r2info@unibiz.com. We'll issue a question and answer response to all of the attendees following this webinar. Let me describe a few of the mobile apps that I'm going to be showing today. One of them is the mobile inventory app for R2. Now, this mobile inventory app is a browser-based application that's targeted at your salespeople and other people in the organization that need to know inventory availability at a moment's notice. I say this is browser-based because this is actually written in HTML and can be used on your computer directly through a browser or on any of the smartphone devices through their native apps by bringing up any kind of browser on their system as well. Tried and true on iPhone, Android, and any of the Microsoft operating systems. Some of the new features that we're bringing into the picture here: support for creating a quote, hold, or reservation order. Also, when we create those orders, if your customer has any special pricing, we're going to pick up those prices when we book these orders. Moving on to our next product in here that we're going to be showing, the Needs Service app for R2. Okay, this is a native smartphone app, and this is targeted at your service technicians, quality control people, or any of the managers. Essentially what this is allowing you to do is to find things that are damaged or require service. Make that notation at the time that you find that item. It can be on site or in your warehouse, and it will allow you to notify a service manager as well as create a service ticket directly in R2 as an option. Okay, so again, this is a native mobile app. This is developed for iOS and the Android smartphones at the moment, and can be downloaded from either of those app stores. Some of the new features that we're bringing with the Needs Service app is support for marking non-serial items as damaged, creating service tickets in R2 automatically for any of those damaged items, and we can also dictate notes regarding the damage directly to the app. And the last thing today I'm going to talk about is the Warehouse app for R2. Now, this Warehouse app, originally designed for a tablet, is now available for phones. Gives your warehouse employees the freedom to walk around the warehouse. They don't have to use a hand scanner or be tied to a laptop that you might have on a rolling cart. They can carry this thing around and have real-time access to any of the warehouse tasks that you would normally access through R2. Some of the new features that we're going to be showing here: support to fill, ship, and return transfer orders, printing of pick lists and delivery receipts right from the app, electronic signature capture on the delivery receipt, and support to fill, ship, return serial and non-serial kits, and finally, support for batch returns. Let me start with the inventory app. I'm going to bring this up on my phone. And what I'm going to do is log in. Now, every individual in your organization can have a login to this, and it's important that they have a login to their mobile apps by their own names, because we do communicate some of this information back, whether we're creating an order or just sending a notification to a central person in your organization that's going to book the order for this person. Okay. Now, when I first bring up the mobile inventory app, we've added a few new features. One of those ones was being able to book an order. Now, at this point, I can skip over the order booking information if I just want to go and create or search for inventory, just check my availability. So I'm going to tap on the skip order info for now. And I'm going to select a range of dates, just the next 3 days down here. Now, this is my availability that I'm looking for my equipment in the next step. When I click on continue, it's going to bring me into my category and then drill down to my subcategory list. Let me tap on audio. That shows me two different subcategories here. And we'll start with our microphones. I'm going to take one of these classic microphones here, and when I tap on that, it shows me that I've got 3 available, and they're all in my Minneapolis branch. Now the little plus over on the left side there is what I'm going to tap on if I want to request one of these things. I'm going to leave the quantity at 1, tap on OK, and then I'm going to go back a level, and I'm going to go to my cables, and we're going to grab a cable from here. In fact, I'll grab 2 of these and say OK. Now, as I'm adding these things to my list, they're actually going into my shopping cart. And up at the top, you'll see that green button up there. That's my shopping cart. If I tap on that, the number 2 next to it tells me that there's 2 items in it. Now, this is showing me the site that it's coming from, the dates that I've selected there, the items that I've requested. And at this point, I've got a few different options. If I click on Send Request, it's only going to send an email to one or more central people in my organization who will book this order for me or answer my availability request. Can I have this for my customer? Or if I'm allowed to, through different security measures that we can implement, they can actually create a hold, a quote, or a reservation. I'm going to tap on Quote. And it wants a little bit of info from me. I need to put in who my customer is. That's pretty easy since I know them. And I'm going to type in a little bit of my branch. I know that I only had that in Minneapolis. Now, I can leave additional comments here, and what you're seeing with this price unit is we have the ability to take your daily or your weekly rates, depending on how you want to book this order, what price unit you want to use. But right now I'm leaving it as default. So whatever your site is normally set up for pricing at the default level is what I'm going to use. In this case, it's going to translate to daily. I'll click on Send Request. And it tells me the request was successfully sent. Now let's go over to the R2 side and see the order that it's created. Okay, so over on my R2 side here, go into the account, we'll bring up that UBS customer. And you're going to see down here, order from mobile request. It's a quote, that's what I selected. Let's open that up. Okay, inside the order here, you're going to see my XLR cable. I requested 2 of those, 1 of this classic microphone. You can see my order durations for 3 days. And it's even brought in the pricing for those items. Okay, so from the R2 mobile app, you can search for inventory. You can request availability from it via email to 1 or more individuals. Or you can now create orders directly in R2 by using that. Okay, the next thing that I want to show is the R2 service or the Need Service app for R2. Again, this is a native app that I'm going to be showing here. And again, this is another one of those apps where I can log in as myself, and it's saved my login information in this case here through the configuration, so that it knows who's requesting that something be marked as damaged. And of course, if we go to the next level and create a service ticket directly through this Need Service app, it'll say who's created it. Now, only a couple of options from here. This is a very straightforward app, and it allows me to either scan or type in the product or asset number for something. Okay, this something, whatever I'm typing in, is going to be marked as damaged. And let me start with an example here. In this case, I'm typing in a barcode number. That little camera with the barcode next to it will bring up a scanner, which is just the scanner on my phone, and I could actually scan that barcode. But this is short enough, so I'll just click on search. And what it's showing me at this screen here is the projector that the barcode for the projector that I scanned. So it's confirming with me it's a projector. And I've got it out on an order right now. You can see that order right in the middle of the screen, the SG number with projector rentals next to it. So it's just confirming with me that this is the order. In this case, this equipment is out, that I want to mark this equipment as damaged on. Now to mark it as damaged, I'll tap that little button right in the middle of the screen, and that opens up a couple of things now. Right below the mark as damaged, it shows create service ticket. Now this is an optional step. I don't have to create a service ticket at this point if I don't want to. But this will create an actual ticket in R2 if I leave this enabled. Some of the other options that we have down at the bottom, copy to. Now when I click on send here, this is going to be sending out an email and creating a service ticket in R2. So this is going to go to a central service individual in my company that I've configured. It can go to one or more service individuals. And it will also go to myself, the person who's actually creating this note. And one of the things that we can do down at the bottom is tell the person that we're submitting this to, or tell the service ticket in R2 what the problem is. So right in these comments, I can type into the comments, or I can tap my microphone, and I can dictate whatever comments I need directly into the phone. I can also do voice recordings, or even recordings of the damaged equipment if that's something that I want to capture, at the bottom right. So I can actually take a voice or sound recording here. And then over on the bottom left, I can take one or more pictures of the faulty device. Now I can take as many pictures as I need to and actually submit that. And when I'm finished with all of this, all I have to do is tap on the send button. Sending the notification, and it confirms with me when it's done. I'll tap on OK. Brings me back to the beginning here. I'm going to jump out of this app just for a second, and we'll go in and look at the email that it sent me. Shows me the service notification from the R2 needs service is incoming for that projector, for that barcode that I typed in. It has my dictated notes. I didn't choose any audio recordings, and there's my picture. Okay, now again, this is the email that was sent out to one or more people in the organization, in this case, copying myself. Now that was a serialized item that I showed you, and R2 knows exactly where that serial item is. If it's on an order, if it's not on an order, there's only one unique instance of it. But we can also do non-serial items here as well. Let me type in something pretty common here in XLR50. And when I click on Go, when I click on Go, you actually see the XLR50 up at the top there, but I don't have an order. Right next to the order, it's just blank. This thing could be on one or more orders. It's a non-serial item. So how do I tell the system which item I'm marking as damaged? This is important if I'm going to be billing the customer for damages. Right, or I should say to the right of that Go button, there's those three lines, and I'm going to tap on that. And what that reveals to me is the two orders that this XLR50 foot cable is on. Okay, if there were more orders, it would show all of them here. I can select one of these orders by tapping on it, and then I can click on Continue. And by doing that, you can see right up at the top there under the order area, we've picked the order that we're going to mark this as damaged on. Okay, so that's support for serial and non-serial items. In both cases, we can mark them as damaged, and in both cases, we can create a service ticket for them directly in R2. Last but certainly not least is the R2 Warehouse app. Now, the R2 Warehouse app I'm actually showing on a tablet here, but we've made it available on a phone recently. And this is a native app. This can be downloaded from either the Android or the iOS app stores. Now, the purpose of the warehouse app is to give the warehouse people the freedom to walk around, carry a small tablet or even their phone, and be able to scan or account for the items that they're picking, filling, shipping. They can even return items here directly to orders or through a batch return. Now, the layout is actually pretty simple. Down at the bottom, you're going to see 4 buttons. One is for prep, dispatch, receiving, which we're calling receiving because I can receive inventory back from rentals. I can receive them from POs and from transfer orders. And then batch. Okay, so starting with the prep task here. When I tap on any one of these orders, and you know what, I'm going to point out some of these orders are in red and one of them is in black. The one in black is a date that hasn't come to pass, or I should say is not late yet. So the task is for the 27th and today is the 27th on this blue star. All of those other orders are red because if you look at their order dates, they're all very old and I haven't done anything with those. So one of the benefits of this application is that it allows you to see anything that you've missed or haven't completed in a prior day. Those are going to show up right at the top so you don't miss those. Now, tapping on any one of these is going to give me the real-time pick list. So I can see everything that's coming directly from the order on here. And I've got a few simple options. One of the options I could start with, if a visual or a real-time pick list is not good enough, up at the top right, there's a little icon there. And that'll give me this pick list. I can actually send this pick list to a printer if I want and then have a piece of paper. I personally think this app is a great tool to reduce the paper in the warehouse. And one of the other things that I can do from here is, of course, fill the order. One way of doing it is to scan. Now, right in the middle of the screen toward the right, there's a little camera with barcode behind it. And the barcode slashes there indicate that if I tap on that, it's going to allow me to use the built-in camera scanner on this device. Optionally, you could buy a case for these devices that have a bona fide laser scanner in them, which I highly recommend, as it increases the throughput of the scanning. Using the barcode scanner on these devices is not the fastest or most efficient way. At the same time, it protects your device too, as well as having that built-in laser scanner. I'm going to fill this manually because I don't have a scanner or anything to scan in this case, but that's easy enough. I can tap on any one of these things on the screen and it's going to bring me up a list of the barcodes that are available to be tagged on this. Now when I select my barcode, I'm grabbing that one down at the bottom there. I'll click on Fill, and then it gives me, this asks me this question here, do I want to take a picture for this? I can take one or more pictures for any of the items that I'm filling as a pre-delivery photo. Hey, I can also take pictures when I'm returning things. Okay. Again, I'll fill something else from here, and I'll decline taking a picture this time. So again, the way that I'm addressing this is very simple. I tap on each of those lines. Just like R2, I can still show everything that's been filled already. And down at the bottom, you'll see Show All Lines. Okay, we've also got an Expand All and a Collapse All for handling kits. Now, this line right in the middle of the screen here, I'm going to unfill that. That's a non-serial item. And you can see how easy it is to unfill or fill that simply by tapping on it. It's defaulting the quantity of 3 because that's how many are requested from here. And if I tap on Fill, it'll fill that same quantity for me. Now, as I continue to fill this, over on my shipping side of things, I'm going to see a new task appear. And in fact, the task for this order has already appeared over on my shipping side. As soon as I fill any one of these items, the task for this order automatically appears over in the shipping side. Let's go look. So I'll back out of my prep task, and notice that it went away. So it's no longer there for that blue star customer. That's because there's nothing else to do. I don't have to mark it as done. It's automatically marked it as done for me because there's no more work on it. That's okay. I can still use some filters up at the top here, and I can bring back things that are done, look at different order types, and set some basic filters for dates. I can also invoke a search function here for the product and order or customer, and then find a very specific order or item. Let me move over to the dispatch side. So I'll tap on this dispatch button down at the bottom, and you'll see that my blue star events is now visible on the dispatch screen. Okay, from here, I can see all of the equipment that I filled on the previous area, or in the previous area. Everything is marked as filled here. Now, all I have to do is click on this little truck, or tap this truck right up at the top of the screen there, if you can see that right next to our print icon. That's going to allow me to dispatch everything. I'll mark that as dispatched. Okay, that goes away. But again, just like the prep task, I can summon up all of the lines again and see them. And just like the prep task, I can bring up a printout, but in this case, it's a delivery receipt. On the delivery receipt, you'll see down at the bottom, it says sign and print. I'm going to tap on sign, and I'll sign my name there. Okay, and it drops it right on this document for me. Again, this is going to be saved in this order, available from this app if you want to bring it up again, or you can print it as described before. I'll back out of my dispatch task here, and again, it goes away because there's nothing else to do on that order. It's all been shipped out. There's the receiving side of things. Now, in this case, we're not showing you tasks by date. Anything that is out on any order is going to show up from here. We're still respecting the date order of things, and you can still apply filters for today, tomorrow, or some range of dates that I want to see orders in, or even isolate a single order. Okay, I'll bring up any one of these here. Just as a point of reference, you can see that all of the screens are the same. So you get trained on one screen and you know how to use all of them the exact same way. I won't return that order just in the interest of time. I'm going to go over to the batch return screen and just talk about that very quickly. This is one of the new things that we've added to this too. So over from the receiving side, if I'm having challenges finding the order, or there's too many orders on which to return items, I can do it from this batch return screen here. And very similar to the batch return screen in R2, I can scan from here, or I can type things in directly for, say, non-serial items. So again, in summary, for the R2 Warehouse app, I still have access to all of my usual warehouse tasks, prep or fill, ship or dispatch here, and then my returns. So I've got access to all of my basic tasks in the warehouse that I need to be able to do all of my shipping and returns. And I can also do batch returns from here. In addition to all of those things, I still have access to paper documents and electronic signature capture for delivery receipts that I'm either shipping out to the customer or delivering, and even on return receipts, we can capture an electronic signature. This concludes the R2 webinar. Again, please send any of your questions to r2info@unibiz.com. Again, the email is r2info@unibiz.com. We'll take all of the questions and respond in kind to all of the attendees in this webinar. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending.